What's up, everybody? Unfortunately, we have Chris running a little tiny bit behind, but we can kill some time here. No big deal. So I just wanted to, welcome you to. Oh. Cheers, guys. All right. So we got incredibly lucky because he's actually now ready to go. So, you know what? Instead of just killing time, I'm just going to bring him right on. So, everybody, welcome Chris. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. I'm glad that worked out. Yes.
It's a little bit dark, huh?
Yeah.
Is it just my camera or something? I don't know.
Okay,
it looks.
Huh? So.
I like your T-shirt.
Thanks. This actually just came from Chris Eaton a couple days ago. It just showed up.
Yeah.
Very happy with it. I don't know if he's posted it yet or not, but I'm actually on the next episode. I'm the 15 minutes lame on the upcoming episode. So awesome. That'll be pretty exciting. I'm pretty sure I just sounded like an idiot the whole time, but
fine.
That's probably the point of it, right?
Yeah, obviously.
All right, so let's jump right into it. For anybody that doesn't know you, is there anything that you want to say just to sort of quickly introduce yourself?
Well, I'm pretty much new. I only have like one ball python, and it's a normal. Well, the story is pretty much the same like anyone else, right? I mean, I started, from hating snakes, like literally, I'm hating snakes because I grew up from, like a really strict family. You know what I mean? Till today, people still kind of like think, snake is evil, blah blah blah, right?
Oh, yeah.
But so long story short, back in I don't know. I feel old, every time I try to like remember, like when I first started. But so back in 2004-5, I think, a good friend of mine got me this ball python, a really ugly bumblebee. I cannot recall where he got it from, but so I was like, dude, what? I mean, like that I really hate snakes, right? So he's like, yeah, but it's just something fun because I know you're always looking for to have like animals because I'm a dog lover. I love dogs, But the thing is, due to my schedules or whatnot, I cannot really have dogs because dogs really need a lot of attention, right? In a way. So he got me this stupid brown bumblebee, really really ugly. Yeah, so just like anyone else, right? So I put it in the like a small tank, and then with, I don't know, trees, waterfalls, bunch of nonsense, right? So but unfortunately, like 2006, 2007, we had this kind of like recession, perhaps. So I got really busy because I need to like do a lot of things. So I just forget about it. I think my girl actually sold it or like gave it away to someone else. And then because the thing is, once you get to know these animals, like the bad perception about snake is like evil, or they're really shiny and then like oily, whatever, like that, is kind of like go out of the roof, right?
Yep.
So back in I think like late 2008, I'm kind of like just like looking around, and then like searching around, and then I came across this anti-inferno. So I was like, what the hell is that, right? Because it's like neon orange or whatever.
Yep.
And then from there, so, that's how I get to know people like Kevin's, and then Tracy Barker's, and then Ralph Davis. And so I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then the funny thing is that I didn't know if you can actually make this combo, because I thought you have to buy it, like in order to have it in your collection, right? Because once you get into things, you want to collect everything that you pretty much see, So
especially back then, when there wasn't anywhere near the array of combos that we have now, right? Every time you see one, you're like, oh, I need that. I remember that back like late 2000s. Oh man, yeah.
So long story short, and then I started to learn, like, wait a minute, what do you mean you can make these things? Because I love to collect things, especially like rare, valuable things, in a way, right? So I was like, wait a minute, what do you mean you can make these things, right? So I kind of like dig deep, and then learning about this of genetics and then morph, and then how you able to make that things, and things like that. And then so I was like, oh, okay, so if you want to make like that's inferno, right? You need like the hidden Jinwoma, and then and then yellow bellow things. Okay, so let me just collect everything that that I need to make that things, right? Because back then inferno was like a lot of money, So and then late 2009, and I started to like get into it. The problem with me is that I don't like to do things halfway, if that makes sense to you. So when I dig deep, I really get into it. So that's how I I kind of like build these small facilities or whatnot, and then the rest is history. And here I am now.
And that it's pretty awesome, because we were talking, and I invited you on, and honestly, like, I wasn't expecting you to come on this Friday, like today.
Oh, really?
I didn't have anybody, and I was thrilled you wanted to, but I didn't have anybody lined up. Just because, unfortunately, I've been going through some personal stuff, and things got ahead of me, and unfortunately, the person that was originally scheduled for today canceled, and I just didn't have a chance to try and fill it. So I'm super thankful that you're here, but that wasn't originally the plan. It wasn't until a couple days ago when we talked.
Right.
And when I started posting up that you were coming on, I got this, and I've never had this before, and I mean, we were only 9 episodes deep, but I got this really, really weird, like 50-50 split of people replying, and half of them were like, oh my God, you got Chris? Holy crap, that's amazing. And the other half were like, who the fuck is that guy? And it's just, it's funny because if you were to just like peek on your Instagram page, like if you were to just take a quick peek, the first thing you just see is all these amazing snakes, and then you only have like 1,500 followers. So I guess a lot of people don't really realize how long you've been doing this, and they don't, you know what I mean, realize sort of how much you've put into it, and how many hours, and it's just crazy. And I've kind of been following you from the background for a long time. Like, you've been making amazing stuff. And obviously, you kind of went a little radio silent there for a few months.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
But, sometimes it's just what you need, especially in this hobby, man.
Yeah. So I took some time off because due to these COVID-19s, right? And then I have some well, not issue, but I need to took care of some kind of like a family things.
Yep.
And then yeah, because I'm the oldest one, so I have a lot of responsibility, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's why well, not necessarily that like I stopped breedings or things like that. I mean, the breeding still continues because once you start, you cannot really stop. The cycles always continue. You know what I mean?
The animals don't care about your fucking schedule, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but just like what you said, sometimes taking sometimes off is really good. It's really refreshing in a way. And then even though nothing really changed, because when I get back, and then just kind of like open up my social media, and then this bunch of messages, drama is still there. Nothing changed.
Yeah, and it's really funny because the time period you chose to take off, it seems like a lot decided to happen drama-wise in that time frame.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine you jumping back on Instagram and just scrolling through the post and being like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, it always gonna be like that, right? Because like a lot of people been asking me like, how do you deal with this like haters or people that kind of like trying to get you down and things like this. I mean, it might sound really weird, but I kind of like like these haters because these haters kind of like appreciate the good people that you have in this community, if that makes sense to you. Because it's really hard to tell like which one is good, which one is bad, until you experience the bad experience, right? Because without these lovely haters, right, I would never get to know like good people like Billy, yourself, and then Miguel, or like anyone else in this hobby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like need them in a way.
It's kind of cool because obviously I'm just sort of getting a little more well known in the ball python community. I don't want to say I'm popular by any means. I'm very lucky to be associated with Billy. So a lot of people know who I am, but I don't consider myself a star or anything. You know what I mean? But I find it really cool, and it makes you feel really good when you have those those haters, those people that are shitting on you for no reason on social media, and you come back maybe an hour later to go through the messages, and for every one person that's trying to shit on you, you have 5 supporters that are jumping on them before you can even reply. And it's a really cool feeling. This community's come a long way since I was in it the first time back late 2000s, and I guess when you first got in. The community's night and day now. It's completely flipped. Back then, there'd be 5 people shitting on you and one person being like, "Oh, don't give up." Like now you have one person shitting on you and 10 people jumping on them. Right? It's such a cool feeling to be part of this sort of like new age ball python community because it's become so much more positive and supportive now.
Yes. Yeah, because you can only discover your true friends when you have to face these issues, right? Because I mean, we both knows that there's a lot of people that only gonna be with you or supporting you when everything is good. You know what I mean? But when the shit hit the fans, you only have a few people left to back you up. If that makes sense to you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. You know what? It's
so yeah.
All it takes is for you to have one opinion that people don't agree with, and all of a sudden, you know what I mean? You're under fire. It's absolutely bizarre. Like we talked about it on the show last week. I don't expect you to have watched, but we had June from Ballistic Pythons, Will from RCR, and then we have really Khalil from 514, all on the same show. And it was phenomenal. It was really fun. But we briefly touched on the whole 101 Texas Post, that whole crap show. I'm sure you saw it when you came back on.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, I understand there's people upset and all that kind of stuff, but I feel like people kind of need to. I don't want to make anyone feel bad for hating on it or whatever, because everybody's feelings are valid. But I feel like people need to let people's actions be. Let the consequences come what may, if that makes sense. Like, if somebody says something that people don't like or disagree with or whatever, let their business reflect how people feel.
Yeah.
There's no good in taking somebody that's already went and made themselves look like a pile of shit and just bury them even further, because they've already dug their grave, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to go and do it for them. They're gonna end up sleeping in it. So man, it's just, I don't know. I just want to focus on making cool shit and buying steaks I can't afford, and all the good parts about the hobby.
Of course. Yeah. Like, we have to understand that no one is perfect, right? And then the sad part is that like, no matter how long you've been in this hobby, let's say like 25 plus years, right? You make one mistake and people forget about everything that you've done for this hobby alone. You know what I mean? So like, people make mistakes. Sometimes they don't even know they make mistakes until people kind of like approach him, or kind of like contact that person and say like, dude, I think you just screwed things up. So I don't really like to pick sides. I mean, I understand where both parties are coming from. I mean, at the same time, I know this particular person. That I understand what he did was wrong. That's true. But at the same time, I will never kind of like discredit him just because that's like a simple mistake. I'm not saying that it's simple mistake. It's a huge mistake. But at the same time, like, what about if it was me? If I put myself into his position, you know what I mean? So now you kind of appraise me like, oh, you have cool collection, blah blah blah. You must be very lucky. What about if I screwed up, right? And then one day you're just gonna be like, shit on me. You know what I mean? So
yeah, for that many people to turn on somebody that quickly is a lot, especially people that once were avid supporters, right? So it's hard to see, but it's also like, it's tough because it's his livelihood, right? So it went from the people that really care probably not supporting him to the amount of crap that got stirred up because of the social media part of it, turning into thousands of people potentially not doing business with him just because they saw their favorite breeder make a post about him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, other people let their opinion be influenced just because it was sort of all over social media for a while. And I personally don't think it's right. I understand wanting to out people and, get it out and all that kind of stuff, but let people do their own thing. Like, let people do their own thing. Let people make their own decisions.
Yeah.
It's, at the end of the day, every one of us, if we were to have said something stupid, we'd want a chance to show we can do better. And I feel like because of what happened, he's probably now not going to be afforded that chance. So it just sucks.
Yeah, that's true. One thing that, if I may add, that like, all of these people that kind of like like bad mouthing him, or like gang up, and then they're trying to destroy this particular persons, they don't even do much in this hobby. If you really care, the way I look at it is like this, right? I mean, if you really care about like people that have an issue in taxes or things like that, then do something about it. Donate, or do something that can help the problems, right? Not just kind of like pretending to be the bigger persons by like comment, put a comments like, oh, you suck, whatever, you better die, or things like that, right?
Oh, for sure.
And
the thing that I really disliked about it is I'd see people jumping in comments and stuff, being like, "Oh, this guy's a dick. I just donated $50 to US Arc. Like, you got to be part of the solution, not the problem." But nobody goes back and looks and sees that he ended up donating a few grand. I think it ended up being towards the Texas relief and US Arc. And you know what? That's not an apology, and it doesn't make up for it. But a lot of smaller guys are saying, "Oh, well, I did this one better." Like, people make mistakes. Move on. Anyone that was personally offended, just don't buy from him. Just don't do business with the guy. Yeah. And you know what I mean? Just let it die, because everybody, maybe not to that degree, because it was very unfortunate and it was a terrible situation that happened. But you know, everyone says something really stupid at some point, and everybody gets caught in something that probably they'd prefer not to be, and says something even more stupid.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like we all have our moments, right? The ups and downs, right? I mean, even myself, every time I make a comment, you know, people always go against me, right? Like back then, when I first, you know, kind of like mentioned if confusion, static, and the acid are the same fucking thing, people like, "Oh my God, you know, stop destroying my project, blah blah." And then the people that actually and the people that actually mad at me don't even have the fucking project, you know. So I'm like, you just want to, you know, gang up and then, you know, talk crap about me, which is fine, you know, because I'm pretty much open with any, you know, with any ideas or opinions or things like that. But the thing is, you gotta have your fact, you know, line up, right, to back it up. I mean, if you just talk about this and that and then nothing to back it up, you just pretty much, you know, wasting my time, you know. So things like that. I mean, you know, we always have ideas or opinions, right? It doesn't really mean that you know, like I'm kind of like trying to, you know, screw up other people's project. It's not the case, because you know, like my thing is, let's be honest, right? Not many people can afford, you know, this high-end project, right? So for examples, like back then, when I say, like, you know, Phantom and Mystic are the same freaking thing, people really upset, like, "Oh my God, you have no idea how many emails I got that time," you know. My point is like this. I mean, if you already have Mystic, right, why you go out and then get the Phantom? They're you know, the same freaking things. I would rather have you, you know, spend the money for a different project or a different, you know, morph or gene, you know what I mean? Instead of like buying the same thing, because thinking that they are the same, you know, not the same freaking thing, if that makes sense, you know. So
well, I think as people that work in higher end projects, and I'm talking you and some other bigger guys more than myself, we're just starting to kind of dabble in like bigger projects. Like, we're barely getting our feet wet. So I don't want to speak personally, but I think there's a little bit of an obligation almost to get information like that out there, because there's a lot of people out there that can potentially spend a lot of money on these projects that, you know, we've seen it over and over and over again. Like, a lot of people spend a lot of money on projects that turn out to just be the same as something else we've already seen.
Yeah.
And just like the Hurricane Blitz trick thing, like, there were people arguing. There's still people arguing about it. Like, it's insane. Just like Stranger Mahogany. I find most of the people saying that they're the same are people that don't own either. Like, it doesn't make sense to me, man.
Yeah. To add, you know, like my opinions when it comes to Strangers and the Mahogany, and then what is the other one? Oh, I can't recall the name. That's an gene kind of like similar.
It's in Europe, right?
Yeah. No. Some breeders here in US actually have them. Oh, Cinder.
Oh yes, sorry. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So I have like well, I don't have Cinder, but I have both of the project, and then they in a way similar, but they make a different combos based on my
that's the thing.
Experience.
I feel like people are like hand picking certain combinations and being like, "Look, they're the same." Like, hold the fuck on! You picked the ugliest stranger you've ever seen and the nicest mahogany combo, and you're going, "Whoa, look at them! They're the same thing." Like, calm down. Work with them both for a little while, then come back to me and say something. We own both. We have Stranger Mahogany.
Yeah,
man, I've never seen a mahogany that looks anything like the Stranger that we have. Never in my life.
It's a pretty cool project, by the way. Stranger.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it. We actually just picked up a GHI Krypton female for our Stranger male, Stranger combo het clown. Yeah. So I'm hoping to make the first Stranger Krypton. I think that'll look amazing.
Yeah.
But it's just it's tough because as much as we're invested in it, if tomorrow I found definitive proof that Stranger and Mahogany were the same, I would put the information out, even though it would put me essentially out of some money because it would devalue one of my projects. I would put the information out there because it's more important for people to know, so nobody else gets put in the same position that I was just put in, right?
Yes.
And I think we have that obligation working with these higher end projects.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, to kind of like add on to your comments about devalue, right? Like eventually you're gonna make your money back as long if you're able to breed that strangers. You can always make your money back.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, it's gonna take longer time to recover your investment, but at the same time, you're gonna make your money back, and then it's not like you're gonna lose the money or you're gonna screw up the project because you have to understand, like when you work on like a specific project or new gene, in a way it takes time to discover. It's not like we trying to keep a secret or kind of like I'm holding back to all of this information because as a breeder sometimes we do not even know like what's going on. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like really funny because before I rebrand to DeadMouze, my my username was Exotics Society, because I thought we gonna like work together to discover these cool genes, whatever. But only later I found out there's a lot of people kind of like shitting on me. I was like, screw this.
Yeah, for sure. And what I was just gonna add on to what you said. When I made my investment, I was very aware of the talks. And when I say I'm talking about myself and my business partner, Nick.
Okay.
Everything is 50-50 between us. So I don't want anybody to think, oh, I'm taking credit. When we made this investment in a Stranger, and it wasn't a small investment, we took a look at the numbers and we said, hey, listen, if this animal ends up being mahogany, we don't believe it is, but if it ends up being somehow the same gene, can we still make it work? Can we make our money back? And we looked at the numbers. We were like, of course we can. Like, it'll take maybe an extra year of, breeding and hitting some cool stuff. But, he's a combo Stranger het clown. He's a Stranger leopard pastel, possibly yellow belly het clown. Like,
wow. Okay.
If I'm making mahogany pastel leopard yellow belly clowns, I'm not going to be hurting to sell them, right? Like that's still an amazing combination. So you just got to be smart with the way that you make your purchases, but at the same time, like I shouldn't say nobody, but not many big breeders are purposely holding back information just to fuck other people over.
Yeah, well, there's some.
That's why I corrected myself before I said it and said not many instead of none.
Yeah, there's some that like intentionally like I'm hoarding this info, right? But the thing is, these people will never last long, because you can only lie or put a bad intention so long, and the people eventually gonna find out about it, right? And then this is back to like like every time I talk to like other breeders, because it doesn't really matter what project that you're working on, because people only gonna look you as the breeders, as the person behind that project, right? So it doesn't really matter because I don't know if I should say this, but like back then when that a particular project come up, I'm just gonna say that bamboo.
Yep.
Right. No one knew if it was actually part of the Bell complex and then I was one of them. I didn't know because I was hoping it was something cool because it's looked really different, right? I was hoping really, really, hard that it's not part of the Bell complex, and then the original breeders actually knew about this. So yeah, and then well, I will never, like trying to deal with that person again. Well, he no longer in the hobby, but yeah. So.
Oh, we got some love for you from Northeast Morphs.
Oh, hey, I'm really bad with names, by the way. Sorry, guys.
It's all good, man. You know what? I feel like we've been kind of going back and forth on, just sort of shooting the ship for a while, and we've actually already answered my first question that I had set up. You talked about how you got into the hobby. Okay. So let's jump right into question number 2. How many clutches are you expecting or hoping for this year?
For this year, I have no plan to breed many of the pairings because do a lot of issues and COVID-19, so things like that, because we do not know what's going to happen, right? But and then so I probably I don't know, like 25. I usually go up to like 65, 70 clutches because that's my sweet spot. I don't want to have like 100 clutches or more than that because it becomes like a work for me in a way,
Oh, for sure. So, yeah, we did I think 18 last year, and it was
okay. That's good.
It wasn't a huge number, but I mean, it was a significant increase because we've kind of like, I'm familiar with all this because obviously I worked for Billy, all that kind of stuff. So I kind of knew what to expect. But we went from making 5, we got 5 clutches the year before that because we were super unlucky. 2019, we just got fucked. Nothing went, you know what I mean? And every clutch we did get, it was all boys or just terrible odds. It was just a shit show. Enough to make a normal person get out of the hobby. But then last year it went from 5 to 18. And let me tell you, holy crap, is that a significant increase? And I'm still under 20. We're aiming for 40 to 45 this year, knowing full well that it's essentially going to be Nick's full-time job, and I'm going to be basically working a second full-time job to keep up with. But you know what? Like, it's what you got to do, man. It's what, like 6 months of the year when babies are coming, and as much work as it is, it's the best time of the year. Like constantly having babies coming out, and it's
feeding them. Yeah. Because I'm more into the quality instead of the quantity. Like I know back then it's kind of like having this bragging right to have like, oh, I have these 600 animals, whatever, like that. I have like 200 plus clutches. For some people that like doing this like full time, it works best for them, because the more clutches, the more money you're gonna make. That's true. But like for me, I'm doing this just for fun, so I don't want to adding like more work to like whatever that I already have going on right now. So yeah.
And it's funny because I feel like what you just said is a trap that a lot of new guys get into. The whole, if I make more clutches, I'll make more money.
Yeah.
Man, all it takes is 2 or 3 clutches where you completely shit the bed. Like, you know what I mean? You could be like, oh, I just bred this confusion leopard yellow belly het pied to this dreamsicle, and I'm going to make the coolest things in the world. I'm going to make confusion lab het pied combos. And you could hit like 2 leopard male, like het lab pos het pieds and a fucking yellow belly. You know what I mean? Like, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
And you do that for a couple of clutches, and all of a sudden your year that's going to make you a fortune ends up costing you more money feeding all the babies to wholesale them off. Like it's a tough hobby and business to actually like really make your money in. And I know a lot of the big guys, it's just clutch.
Right.
But that only really works when every one of your clutches really can't produce those shit animals, and that takes a long time to do. Yeah. So it makes a lot more sense to pick your pairings wisely, go slow and build up your collection to the point where once you want to take that next step, every one of your females is just amazing. Every one of your males, you can't go wrong with. And even when you miss, your stuff is still stuff people want.
Right.
It's a tough, slow climb, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, it's a long, it's a marathon, right? This hobby, it's not a sprint. So I know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it, like when people just, like I'm coming into the hobbies, they want to make their names, or they want to have these, where for the lack of the better word is like, that respect that, people have, right? But the thing is, the thing that people don't understand is that it takes some, these big breeders a long times, like 15 plus years, easy. So you cannot just come in and then buy all of these expensive stuff and then expect that these big breeder to respect them. That's not gonna work.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
you can't expect to know what these guys know either, and that's a huge part
Exactly.
about it.
Exactly.
So.
And then one thing that if I could say that, because I used to have a huge collection, like at some point I had about, I don't know, like 600 plus breeders. I'm talking about
Oh wow!
females. Yes.
Holy crap!
And the
I didn't
funny thing,
realize you were that big at one point.
yeah, the
You
funny
were bigger
thing.
than Billy is right now. Holy shit!
Oh no. Billy has like 1,000 of them probably
Billy only
right
has
now.
400 female breeders.
Oh really?
Most of his stuff's holdbacks. He usually switches out. So if he has something that can upgrade that tub, he'll usually sell the breeder and upgrade the female, unless it's something insane. But yeah, he keeps around 440, I think, breeder females.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
he does have like 3,000 animals total, though.
Oh yeah.
It is a lot.
And then at that point, and that's not include, the sub adult, the one that you're gonna, hold back and then trying to, put into your project the next round, right? And then the funny thing is that I make way more money now than back then. The one thing that people don't understand is that so I have a few friends, like a lot of friends in this hobbies, they make good money. I'm talking about like 6 figures money. But the thing is, it doesn't make any sense for me personally, right? So let's say if you make like 200,000, right, and then your expense is like 180, so technically you only make 20.
Yeah,
that's the part that no one really realized that.
That's 20
because,
you now have to live off of.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Because like I'm more into the numbers instead of like what I see based on the income. Because at the end of the day, you have a lot of expenses, right? You have a lot of employees or things like that. All the headache. I just don't want to deal with that. At that at one point it became like another job for me, and then I kind of like, you know what, let's just focus on the high end ones instead of doing this some wholesale whatever. But then again, for some people it works best for them. It's just not for me, because like for me, I really care about the animals itself, and then I'm doing this because I love to make new cool combos, not because I want to kind of like make money, because I always get accused like, oh, you're doing this for the money, things like that. Well, I have money, so if let's say if this hobby closed down, or the government shut us down, I'm still okay. So so for new people that like wanna jump into this hobby, there's a lot of money to make. At the same point, you have to know what you're doing, otherwise you're gonna lose money really fast.
This hobby is it's a very easy one to burn money into the wrong stuff. It's very easy to use up your investment money on stuff that will not make you your money back and not even realize it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that can talk really well and convince you. It's, I don't know. It's a really funny hobby, and I feel like you've kind of taken the avenue of work smarter, not harder. Whereas you're focusing on only your highest end stuff. You'd rather have fewer clutches at higher like power in terms of like genetics than more clutches of lesser animals. which makes sense. And I guess it really all just depends on if you want to give up all your free time or, spend the money to bring in an employee or something like that, because all these guys that are doing 100, 150 plus clutches a year, they generally have employees. They generally have people working for them, stuff like that. And, if you're paying somebody else especially, and, on top of that, you're paying rent, you're paying your feeder bill, or paying to breed your own rats, whatever you do, all it takes is one bad year and you could be fucked really fast. It's a gamble every year. And I understand that a lot of these guys, they do a couple clutches that are guaranteed to make them money. And that makes sense. But, if they just get bad luck after bad luck and, you're paying an employee, paying your light, you're paying your hydro, you're paying your rat bill, you're paying your rent, it's very, very easy to have that catch up on you very fast if all of a sudden you don't have any animals that'll sell.
Yes. And then, the reason that we talk about this and then discuss about this, you just kind of like want to share with other people, that this is the dilemma, right? Being a breeders, right? And then just like anything else, you have to know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to get beat up really fast. And then I get these questions like a lot, like why I focus only on the Haim project is because number one is the project itself has a lot of demand, and then the potential buyer that you're gonna deal with, most of the times they know what they're doing, so it's easier for me to sell them or talk to them to get into the project, because I don't have to spend days, if not weeks, to kind of explain it to them, because they already know, because like all of these people that have money, obviously they know what they're doing, otherwise they will never get to that point, right?
They're not telling you they got to go ask their wife.
Or like what's the weight, like what what they eat or things like that. So for me, spending time for like $100 animals, it just doesn't make any sense for me. I would rather sit down to like these big breeders and then spend maybe like half an hour like on the phones or like emails or things like that, and then that's it. Like most of them don't even ask for like 1,000 pictures, and then most of them don't even ask any pictures. They just okay, so I'm gonna wire you the money, this is whatever, and then just let me know. Easy transactions,
it's usually those guys, if you say it is what it is, they're like, hey, I'll send you the cash, just send it over when you can, and you're done.
Really easy.
And they might ask you for one picture, and that's it, like at the very beginning.
I'm not saying that I do not want to deal, because I have to be like really clear, with this social media. Sometimes people just take one of the statement that you made and then make it something else, right? So just to make it clear that I'm not saying that dealing with these lower end buyers is gonna create you any problems or headache or things like that. I'm not saying that, but for me, because my limited times that that I can spend, I would rather focus on people that know what they're doing, because it's easier. Not only that, I can work with that person to maybe create another project or a cool project or whatever like that, instead of like I have to babysit people like, like why my snake is not eating right now, like like what happens or things like that. I just don't have the time for that.
And you know what? It's unfortunately true. Like when you sell on, our version of Craigslist up here is called Kijiji. It's the same thing. It's just a buy sell site, right? You post your animals up there, and you get a sale for a couple $100 or whatever your animal is. And you're like, great, I have a couple $100 in my pocket. And then you spend the next 3 weeks messaging this person every day because, it won't eat. And you're like, dude, you picked it up yesterday. Why are you trying to feed it? And they're like, oh, come on, Rem. And you're like, my Maine Coon's a psychopath. It's just the little tiny problems that people probably should already. Come on, dude, you're done. Probably should have already researched and had the info for before they went out and bought a snake, but you're still taking your time up and, helping. So I totally understand the appeal of just wanting to, focus on higher end projects, because you're never going to get that, Mary Jane off the street that calling you up saying, hey, I want to spend $200. I want to get into your project. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Now she's on my incubator. But unfortunately, it's part of the game, and especially when you're getting in, even if you buy all high-end animals, especially when you're first starting out, you're gonna make some of those animals, and you got to make the hard decision of whether you want to post them up online and wait a month, 2 months to make a couple $100, or wholesale them, and that's something that people don't talk about.
And then another thing also, like most people think that when you invest, let's say $100, right? It seems like I see a lot of these delusional people that they can make $10,000. So because people have to understand that whatever that you invest in that project, let's say you only spend $100, right? You can only make $100. So let's say if you invest $10,000, then you're gonna make $10,000. So what you invest is what you're gonna get out. So like most people think that they can just buy all of these like low quality animals and expect to match the price people like Justin or like Ozzy make and then sell on the market. It's not gonna work that way, because I have a lot of like a new buyers that they want to retire and they want to make money on the side, right? They want to invest in the right way. So they often ask me like, how should we structure the whole thing? So I'm gonna give you guys a quick example. So let's say I think back in 2018, so this guy asked me like, should I get a only the head or just the visuals? Back then he wanted to get this hurricane clown. And then back then, like I sell my hurricane claim for like $10,000, and then he asked me like, why your price is so high? Because I see this like hurricane hat or whatever only like $1,000. Well, there are a few things. First of all, maybe I should never say this, but the problem with this hobby is like people like to flip flop. So let's say if they have Trick or they have Blitz, they're gonna rename it to Hurricane because they know Hurricane is the hot project right now. And then at the end of the day, you're gonna get screwed up because people always ask me this, like argument, right? Like, what's the difference between Hurricane, Blitz, and then Trick, right? My point is like this: have you seen like a Blitz clown or like Trick clown? A lot of people always list their animals like clown, possible Trick, or possible Blitz or whatever like that. But Hurricane clown, you can see it. Even newbie can see it. The difference, like right away. So
for sure,
so you cannot really discount it. The gene itself. Yeah, they might look similar in some way because I have all the project. Well, not Trick. I have the Blitz and also the Hurricane. They make different combos like right off the bat. I mean, you can tell the difference between Hurricanes and other things. So I have two customers that end up getting Trick head clown cheap, really cheap, like I think it's $850 shipped, right? And then the other buyers actually paid $10,000 for the Hurricane clown. At the end of the day, like fast forward like 2 years after, the guy that spent $10,000, they make, I think it's $58,000 on top of their initial investment, and then the other guy still haven't really make their money back. So that's the big difference, right? So
for sure,
my point is, like not only that you have to deal with the breeders that you can trust and the people that actually know what they're doing, and then you cannot make big money by investing small money. right? At the end of the day, it's a good business. Yeah, sure. You know, people gonna accuse you like, oh, you only doing this for the money, blah blah blah, right? But you know, like when it comes to investment, you have to know what they're doing. Otherwise, you're gonna lose money left and right, really fast, really fast.
For sure.
I mean,
yeah. I think. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
When you say that, you gotta put in money to get money back. I find it funny. I find it funny because a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're only in it for the money. You're only making the big bucks." Like, a lot of people don't realize that, you know, yeah, you might be selling some high-end animals for high dollars, but chances are you're taking that money and putting it right back into the hobby. Not a lot of guys that are continuously making these higher end combos and working in these higher end projects are just taking this money and pocketing it and running, right? These guys have to keep investing in these genes and in these projects to keep making these combos, because as they're making them, they're also selling the pieces of them, and other people are now working up towards what they're doing. So if you're not reinvesting that money, other people are going to catch you like that, especially if you're selling off your own stock from the stuff you're making. So a lot of people are like, oh, you're making thousands of dollars off this and tens of thousands of dollars off that. Like, yeah, but I'm putting 95% of it back in, and the other 5% goes to hopefully buying me a coffee tomorrow morning. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah. And then, you know, like when it comes to like investment, you know, like vehicles, right? If you compare, okay, so let's say take that examples, like one of my buyer that spent $10,000, right? I mean, name me one example of investment that you can put $10,000 and then make, you know, well, $60,000+ in like 2 years. None. I mean, you know, like with that amount of money, like what could you do? I mean, you can buy like, you know, that on franchise, but franchise gonna cost you a lot of money, right? And then real estate, you cannot invest in real estate for like $10,000. People gonna laugh at you, right? And then what, stock? I mean, stock only, you know, give you like what, like 0.5, if not like 5% back.
Unless you had GameStop before it was cool, apparently.
That like shoot up. Yeah. But GameStop is only like one day wonders, right? I mean, it's not consistent, you know.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's not the usual.
Yeah, so it's kind of like gambling in a way. Yeah. So you know, like this hobby provide us with a lot of good things, you know, in terms of like investment wise, and then, you know, the people that you're gonna come across, some good people, some bad, you know, like obviously, but there's no one hobby that you can get a lot of, you know, satisfaction in a way that, I mean, especially when you make like cool combos. I mean, the feeling that you get from it alone worth every penny that you put it in. You know what I mean? So
that is the biggest thing, what you just said. Like, to be able to get the level of excitement that we get, and then also the ability to make a bit of money out of it, like, it's so cool. Like, to be able to be this excited for something and then still, you know, pay for your feeder bill with one of the animals you made.
Yeah.
Most people sit at a desk all day and just, you know, hate their job and hope to go home. Like, I still work full time, but I come home and I'm excited to do this stuff. I'm excited to clean poop out of bins. Like, it seems crazy, but at the same time, it's so cool. It's just such a neat hobby to be a part of. Something that affords you the opportunity to love something this much and still make some money back.
Yeah.
And you know what? Everybody says, like, we've been talking about higher end projects, but as long as you're smart with your money from the get-go, you don't need to invest a ton of money. Work your way up slowly. Don't buy a bumblebee male and a normal female and hope you're gonna make $1,000 and 2 animals from the clutch. But you know, save up some cash and buy a 2 or 3 gene clown and buy yourself a maybe 1 or 2 gene het clown female. And let yourself slowly build, because you'll get there. Like, you just gotta know where to put your money, and you know, it'll slowly take care of the hobby for you.
Yeah, I love that you said that because recently I have a few people that want to invest in monsoon project, right? And then some of them don't really have the fund to invest, right? So I was telling him like, just get the the head mail because you can
I saw
see
your
the
comment.
difference. Yeah,
I saw your comment. Yeah.
That's the cheapest way to get into the project. And then again, there's always an argument, right? I mean, for me personally, I still believe that the monsoon is not a recessive because
yes,
it's you can see it.
Oh man,
I'm not even an expert,
I
because
like you even more now.
yeah,
I
because
don't believe it either. I
yeah.
firmly believe it's incomplete dominant.
Yeah, because the original. I mean, not many people understand like the whole story behind the project, right? I mean, I'm Tom Baker's. I mean, I'm rest in peace. I love that guy, but he's a really experienced breeders in this hobby, right? If it was recessive, he would know right off the bat it was recessive. You know what I mean? But the thing is, like when you have all of these imports or whatever, sometimes you can't even ID them. You know what I mean? It might look cool or whatever, especially when you mix the project with like a bell complex. It's hard to to tell the difference.
Well, not only that, but you're also forgetting that the original male that made the monsoon, which is the one Billy ended up with, and that's how he made his, was also the first special. So it was not only special, but it was Het Monsoon.
Yes.
We had no idea what special did to begin with. You know what I mean? So you have no clue. So this is what I'm talking about, or what we were talking about.
Yeah.
It takes time to build these projects and understand them and know what you're looking for, know what things are and what they aren't and what the variables are. It's hard. It took Billy, he's had that animal, well, he doesn't have it anymore, it passed away. But I think he got that animal in 2009.
Yeah.
And he just made a monsoon at the end of 2019.
Yeah.
Like, and it took a decade of us all, and we've said it for years, how his special combos don't look anything like other special combos.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And the reason is because a lot of them were Het Monsoon, but it took years and years of everybody saying that, and then somebody finally connecting the dots of what Dave Green's hets look like and these weird animals that are coming from Billy's specials and going, holy shit, it's monsoon. And then Billy traced it back and realized that Dave Green's babies came from that male that he ended up buying. So, oh man, it's nuts because 10 years in one of the biggest breeders in North America's collection. Yeah. That's how long it took to recognize. That's how some of these genes are. So, people got to stop second guessing a lot of these guys. They're like, oh, they're just doing it for money. They're just this, they're just that. Like, a lot of people just don't understand it. And I feel bad for a lot of people that have bought like 50% or 66% Het Monsoons. Because I have a special Het Monsoon Pos Het Pied male. He actually came from the clutch that made the monsoon at Billy's, his first monsoon he ever hit.
Yeah.
It's the brother. I've made one clutch with him. He bred for me when he was like 5 months old. He gave me one clutch last year and then shut down. He's breeding again now, but I got one clutch from him last year. I got 4 eggs.
Yeah.
2 of them, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, are Het Monsoon. It's insane how obvious it is.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Sorry, just I was trying to tie that back into your initial comment of buying a Het Monsoon male. I saw you made that comment on Instagram because that was that same comment thread where I was talking about the Bambino stuff.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the same one. And you basically told somebody, hey, buy a Het Monsoon male, breed it to a bunch of stuff, and then just keep back everything that looks funky. And that's honestly the best way to put it, because the fucking monsoon stuff just looks wild, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, they got the weird ass head stamp and the funky pattern.
Yes.
But right now, yeah, if you want to get into a higher end project that you can't really afford, that's probably the way to go.
Yeah.
Buy 100% het mail and just throw it to whatever you got. Just not spider, because I cannot see it in spider for the fucking life of me. And that's no hate on spider. I love spider as a gene, but you cannot see het monsoon in it.
Yeah, because you know, like I feel bad sometimes, you know, like I really want to help, you know, people to you know, get into this, you know, this project or this you know, this whole hobby in a way that but you know, like let's I mean, let's be honest that not many people have the money to do so, right? So but the thing is, there's always a way to get into a project if you know what you're doing. So that's why, you know, it's always good to, you know, do your homework first before you just jump in and then, you know, take the second loan against your house or things like that, because you don't want to get, you know, caught up and then end up like losing a lot of your money, right? Because there's always a way. But thing is, you have to do your homework and then learn the project and then see if it really fits your budget or fits your project, you know, like moving forward, right? So, and then there's always a way. And then it's like really funny because that post that I make is because from the questions that you know, some of the readers that ask me like, hey, you know, like I have these you know, clutches, but thing is, it, you know, it gives him like difficulty to move all of these animals. So I'm like, well, the thing is, you know, like you don't have to always catch up with these high end or like really hyped up combos, right? Because some people need different things. And then if you see like all the response from that in a post, people wants a different things. I mean, you know, like not many people wants to make, you know, Pompeii or like Batman or things like that. You know, like some people like, you know, tri-stripe or, you know, yellow belly or things like that. So it doesn't really matter what you produce. You can always have you know, like find a way to move your animals, you know. Because the thing is, you know, like what I kind of like see most people do is, you know, they just post it on morph market and they do nothing else, you know. So you cannot just like hoping and praying if your animal's gonna sell. You have to do something about it, you know. So
I find it funny that you mentioned the Batman, because right now I have a pairing. It's our first female holdback, like since we've been the Reptile Ward, which has only been about 3 years. So it was a spot nose het clown, and I'm putting it to our pastel lesser leopard clown. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, you're going for the Batman! The Batman! That's so cool! The Batman!" And I'm like, I mean, the Batman's pretty cool, but I like leopard and clown.
Yeah.
I like spot nose and clown. I'm doing the pairing because both things I enjoy in clown. You know what? If it produces a combo that everybody's like, "Oh my god, that's the Batman!" Like, I'm not gonna label it as a Batman. I'm gonna label it as a leopard spot nose clown. I'm gonna fucking hide it in my rack because it's powerful.
Yeah.
Not because it's the next cool or the big thing, right? I don't care if I hit a Batman. If I hit a couple of cool leopard and a couple of cool spot nose clown combos, I'd be thrilled. It's I don't like the whole trend thing.
Well, there's nothing wrong, you know, like to be honest with you, to you know, like focus on these hype combos, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, you you know, people need to understand that if you keep kind of like, you know, trying to catch other people's tails, you're not gonna go anywhere. You know, you have to make something cool. So the way I look at it, so let's say, you know, for examples, if we just talk about that Batman project, right? Well, first of all, the first, I should probably never said it, but the first breeder that actually, you know, make, you know, quote unquote Batman, it's Ben Rennick, but he didn't call it Batman. He just called it, you know, leopard spotless cloud. That's it. So it's already been done. So the fact that you're trying to catch up and then, you know, like doing the same thing too, you're not gonna, you know, go anywhere because you're gonna always gonna see new combos when it comes to Batman project. You know what I mean? So so you know, like my point is like, why spending a lot of money that like 1 year from now, 2 years from now, it becomes nothing, because the hype, it will never last long. But if you have like solid collection, or solid project that you're working on, create something new, people gonna love it. And
yet, there's always going to be those people that genuinely love that combo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's always going to be, be people that are like, oh my God, I don't care if it's worth $10. By the time I make it, I need to do it. And that's totally fine. Yeah. If you're one of those people and you're like, holy shit, the Batman is the be all end all of what I want to make, that's my dream.
Yeah.
Dude, go for it. Do it. If that's what you want to do with this hobby, fucking do it.
Yes.
But to do it just because you think you're supposed to, I'm not a huge fan. Like, if you love them, don't ever let anything I say about the combo hold you back. I want you to go after what you want to do. That's the whole point of this fucking hobby. Yeah.
Well, you just said it. The keyword is you love that project, right? The problem with a lot of people that they only want to have or working on their project to kind of like make the name for themselves, which is a big problem that we have in this hobby.
Yep.
Because I can drop names like people that focus on Batmans, and then they see Pompey's, they sweep over from their project. So at the end of the day, they're not gonna make anything from those two projects, because they still kind of like catching up all of this hype, right? So, like when you like a certain project, so let's say you like the look of like a certain combos, right? Just focus on that, because there's a lot of combos, new combos that still need to be discovered, instead of like wasting all of this money and times and then all your like effort to for something that's not gonna last 3 years. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's funny because a lot of people go, oh, I need to buy all these pieces because I want to make the next Pompeii. I want to make a magma. I want to do a this. I want to do a that. Like, if one person decided to take most of those ingredients and add one thing differently, you could make something potentially. You could make something 100 times cooler, but we don't know because we haven't seen it yet. Yes. But instead of doing that, you choose to chase something that's already been done because you might make something the same quality of what you've seen.
Yes.
But even if you do make it, there's a chance it's not going to be anywhere near the same quality of what you've seen before. You could make it and go, oh, fuck, that's it? Like, it's a risk, right? So as long as you're doing it for what you love, you'll never be disappointed. Like, it'll always just seem like the next step. You're never going to be upset with where you get. You're just going to be like, all right, I can still move up.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's hard sometimes, like when you working on like a certain project that not many people like, or not many people, kind of like focus on right now, because you have to be really patient, right? I mean, like, okay, so like one of the examples, so let's say like a genetic stripe. I don't like that project at all. The reason being,
I'm not a fan. I mean, I've seen a bunch. I get the love for it. I don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, I know, people kind of like, having this hype or like rumors like, oh, the clown genetic stripe is going to be the next big thing. To be honest with you, not really, because what makes it that particular project cool is because of the clown. Again, the basic foundation of any project that we're going to see is going to be based on clown. So it's not necessary that, that the genetic stripe is going to make a comeback. I'm not saying that, genetic stripe is a bad project. I'm not saying that by all means. I have it, and then I'm just not working on it. Because at the end of the day, like, what can you make after that? I always think about like, what can I, what that particular combo, that we can, make after, I don't know, 3-5 years, right?
Dude, you're speaking my language right now, and this is
nothing, like zero.
I don't want to say issue, but the reason that I don't incorporate G stripe into my collection is because once you hit a G stripe, what do you do? Everybody's like, oh, you can do this and you can do that and you can do this. But at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're changing the color of a standard G stripe. That's what every combo of G stripe's doing. It's either making a solid colored snake with no stripe, or it's making a different colored G stripe. And there's no problem with that. If you love that, if that's what you love, do it.
Yeah.
Do it 100%. Kill it. Make me look like an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I 100% agree with you. The clown is what is taking that to the next level. Like clown, I don't think will ever be irrelevant in this hobby.
Yeah. Like in, like rule of thumb, like for me, like in general, I don't like to, get into like a new project if I can make, the particular combo with the things that I have. For example, that gene called a patternless.
Yes, I've never worked with it. I've never owned it, but I do know of it.
Yeah. So let me make it clear. I love Tracy Barker. Like I look at her just like my mom in this reptile hobby, right? She showed me this project years and years ago. I mean, I wasn't really sure. Like, I mean, if it was like $1,000, probably fine. But 10,000, it's like too much money because I don't see the value behind it. The reason being is because I can make the same freaking combo using my champagne, the same exact combo with champagne, and the champagne is like what, like $200? Why would I spend $10,000 if I can make things with like cheaper ingredients? It just doesn't make any sense.
Crazy how
similar what I mean?
We think.
Yeah,
like that was my exact thought on patternless. I was like, man, it's cool, but if I can do the same thing way cheaper and get the exact same result, why invest in this? Like, show me something in this that I can't do any other way.
Yeah,
you can't make a leopard clown without leopard and clown. Show me something that looks the same. You can't do it, right? Like, it's a single incomplete dominant and a single recessive combo. If you put a leopard patternless out there, I go, okay, I can make that with a pastel cinnamon champagne. Like, it sucks. It sucks because I want every gene in this hobby to be something magnificent and just, but unfortunately it's not.
Yeah. I mean, again, the reason that we talk about this just kind of like want to share with other people that, like the way we see all of these projects, right? Because I don't want to, talk bad about a certain project or, like a breeders or things like that, because I don't want to get, phone calls or text messages like, oh, dude, you like to say this, and you know what I mean? Yeah. But, like for examples, right? I'm going to give you another examples, like that tri-stripe. I love, what is her name? I'm the SK lady. Oh, I'm Colette, right? I love her by all means. And then I'm a big fan of, Phil, because he just made this clown tri-stripe, right? It looks like a leopard clown. You know what I mean? So why would I spend money focusing on that particular project if it's going to make anything seamless? Because I cannot, put the value into the project so I can, like share with other people and then make money out of it. I cannot, because it's the same freaking thing. Well,
it looks similar. That said, though, I've seen a couple in person at Will's.
Yeah.
And while they do look that way, I've made a lot of leopard clown combos in my day. Yeah. And it's different enough that I still have a very good hope that adding different things to it will manipulate it in a way that it doesn't manipulate leopard clowns.
Yeah. You should do monsoon tri-stripe.
I don't have any tri-stripe. I wish I fucking could, but
well, tri-stripe is like really cheap right now. I mean, right now, but the ones,
dude, I'm in like, Canada. Nothing's fucking cheap.
It's kind of like, well, the price is already, went up.
Our dollar's shit compared to the US, and then everything's expensive there on top of that.
Yeah.
But our main project with Monsoon right now, and I mean, for monsoon by itself, I'm still waiting to see that big wow. Like monsoon's cool, but I think it's going to have the same problem as champagne and patternless down the line.
Yeah.
The one thing that we are a little into is the monsoon pied project, because I'm very excited to see if the monsoon pied is going to either throw monsoon pattern on the saddles, which will be huge, or if it's going to be a white snake.
Yeah. Well,
and I would love for it to be just the monsoon pattern on pied saddles. That would be phenomenal. But I'm just as prepared for it to be the other thing. Like, I'm just as prepared to be like, oh, there goes that fucking dream.
Yeah. If I was, like focus on that, particular project, right? Like that, a monsoon pied, I would probably bring in, things like leopard and NG. It's a must because, monsoon is really powerful gene. Yeah. Huh?
Our females, leopard special, double het.
Okay. Yeah, because the leopard monsoon looks pretty cool because you can see all the highlight, comes through from the leopard, right?
Have you seen the leopard hets yet?
The one that Billy's have.
Billy has a few, but have you seen the actual leopard het monsoons yet?
I think I have. Yeah, I have.
I'll send you a picture of ours after.
Okay.
Anytime leopard interacts with het monsoon, that's the entire reason I don't believe it's recessive.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll send you some. But we have gone way down the fucking way down the road, and there's been a bunch of questions for no. Like this has been fun as hell. But there's been a bunch of questions for the both of us. I'm just trying to find one of them. Oh, okay. So I brought this up earlier, but we were chatting, so I didn't want to cut either of us off.
Yeah.
This is from Melusine Exotics, buddy of ours, Kathleen. She wants to know the best tip for a newbie on their new season. I know it's a very basic question, but it's a good question. But there's a couple really good ones after that I want you to answer. So let's just work our way through them fairly quick.
The best tip for newbie for the first season. Well, first of all, like don't feel like you're new or you're gonna have to back or like whatever like that. I mean, the difference between like us or like a big breeders and a newbie, it just the difference because of the time, and then with these social medias, you can get any information that you want, pretty much nowadays. But to answer her question is like be patient, and then don't try to get into this all hype mambo jumbo, right? Just focus on what you have. I'm gonna give you like examples. Like this is really textbook examples. I have buyers that bought from me NG head clan. That's it. NG head clan females. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy, right? And then fast forward 3 years later, he make this super NG ghost clown from a simple ingredient.
Oh, I think I've seen that animal.
And then I bought it from him. Yep.
You bought it?
Yep. I mean,
man,
I have all the ingredients, but I never made that thing.
Never been made. If it's the same one, I think you're talking about.
Yes, it's a simple combo: super anti, ghost clown, hypo clown, or like whatever that you want to call it. Yep. Simple thing. There's no hype. There's no Pompey there. There's no Batman. I bought it. So he put
all just genes that have been around for 20 plus years.
Exactly. So don't feel like, oh, I don't have this some high-end projects, I'm not gonna go anywhere. That's not really true. The key is just be patient. Focus on what you have. That's it. Easy.
Man, that you fucking killed it. Perfect. Okay, second question, and I'm actually leading up to a question because I'm kind of leading you in a direction here. So I apologize, but you'll know why I am in a second. But this one I wanted to ask you because I'm curious too. Yeah. What's your favorite species besides ball pythons and why?
Oh, other than ball python, I would like to add that Bolan python.
Dude, you're just a copy of me, apparently.
Oh, you like
or
them
I'm a
too?
copy of you.
Oh,
Bolins are my dream animal.
oh my god, they're pretty cool. It's really hard to breed though, but
I
they're
just
pretty
want one
cool.
to keep one because they look like the coolest fucking animal on the planet.
Yeah. If anybody
Oh,
wants to like a bigger size of snake, but really tame, Bolin is the way to go. That thing
super
is,
smart, really
yeah,
cool looking. Like, it ticks every box.
yes.
Fuck. All right. This is the question I wanted to get to. This is
Okay.
why I derailed everything. Dawn, pear tree pythons.
Oh, Dawn. Yeah.
Is
Super
there
nice guy.
any real potential in the Sunset Project?
A lot. A lot.
This is why I wanted to ask you, because you're the guy that I feel can answer this question probably. I don't want to say the best because I don't know what you have hidden away, but probably pretty close to the best.
No, I'm just a regular guy, Chris.
But you have a lot of cool stuff from the project that you
Yeah.
work with, so you've seen a lot more than most of us.
Yeah.
I've only seen 1 or 2 sunsets in real life. Like,
yeah.
up here in Canada, we have 4 or maybe 5 breeders that work with it, period. So
Yeah. Oh well. Okay.
I mean, Billy just got his first visual. He doesn't have any heads. Chris Towers has a few animals, I think.
Yeah. Chris Towers is pretty cool. Yeah.
No, he awesome guy, but I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, pretty good guy.
There's a lot of people that have Sunset that don't really understand it, and I feel like with what you're trying to do, you probably understand the project a little better than most people. So
right. So this is probably the main reason that I would like to share, because the reason that I do not want people to focus on catching the hype is because they only see what people want you to see, right? Because you have to understand. So let's say like Batman, right? The reason that you see Batman is because that breeders want you to see that Batman. But the thing is, you do not know what's going on behind the screen, right? What he has done with that particular combo. You know what I mean? Same thing like Sunset. People only see Sunset Clowns, and then hopefully Sunset Fight soon, and then that's it. And the people whining about, oh, Sunset is gonna get browns when they age, blah blah blah. That's true. That's true. I'm not gonna deny that. That's true. But the thing is, like we already find out a lot of few ingredients that can make Sunset better. Enchi, it's one of them. I got into argument like months for this, because people at first, oh, you have to put cinnamon because you're gonna darken the patterns, and then bring up the red colors. That's not true. It get brown. And then the second one is fire, because fire is gonna clean up everything. No, it gets brown too. So Enchi is the key, right? And that's it. So we kind of like cross out that brown issue, right? Number two is there's so many potential projects. I mean, I'm just gonna throw out a few, right? Let's say Sunset Ultramel, Sunset Monarch, Sunset Rainbow. What would you get from that particular project alone? No one knows, because it never been done. I have all the ingredients, but I cannot really produce that just yet. DG.
Oh my god, a Desert Ghost Sunset, I think, will be the reason that people jump back on the Sunset bandwagon. Because I feel like a lot of people saw it, went, oh my god, and then once they started seeing adults, they just sort of pushed it off. But
yeah,
that's
true.
happened to a lot of genes. It's happened to a ton.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to derail what you're talking about right now, but I just want a very quick story. Billy.
This is why we do this, like this podcast, right? Because we exchange ideas. There's no right and wrong.
But I just want to very quickly put out this. Billy, back in 2010, had a bunch of blackhead, which right now is huge. People are dying for blackhead. He sold it off because he thought it was nothing. He was like, blackhead, who the fuck wants blackhead? And he moved it. Spot nose, same thing. Billy had a bunch of spot nose. He was like, what the fuck does spot nose do? Nobody wants it.
Right.
Move it.
Yeah.
If you believe in a project, work it.
That's true.
Anyway, sorry, man.
Just like focus on. No, that's fine. Before I forget, just to add up, since you mentioned about blackhead, not all black hat has that red gene in the mix. Just to make it clear, because I still see people, selling their black hat with red gene, whatever nonsense. No, it's not, because red gene is kind of like infusion gene that got mixed into black hat, but not all black hat has
I gotta send you a picture after this, by the way. Remind me, because we're picking up a blackhead mystic that's labeled as red gene. I don't know anything about it, so
I mean, it's really easy to ID, because red gene makes that alien hat on the side like floating.
I've never worked with it, so I have no idea, man.
Yeah, and then if you really love that black hat project, you need that red gene stuff in the mix. Okay, so back to that DG Sunset. I think, to be honest with you, I think Hypo Sunset is gonna look better than Sunset DG, in my opinion.
Hypo Sunset's been done though, hasn't it?
Yeah. But if you gonna compare them, let's say Sunset DG and then Sunset Hypo, I think Hypo Sunset is gonna be better, in my opinion. So, but we'll see, because
so
I feel like DG really washed out everything, huh?
I'm genuinely curious, only because we kind of disagree here. Why do you find Hypo, which tends to dull contrast, why do you think that's going to look better than Desert Ghost and Sunset, which seems to bring out the contrast, which I think is what we're looking for specifically in Sunset?
Yeah, because Hypo in general brings the orange, right? And then Sunset needs that orange part to make it pop. That's why Enchi works well for now.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can be wrong. Again, everything that we talk about here is just theory for now, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying, you're right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's a good point. It's a very good opinion.
Yeah. So I'm looking at it this way. So Black Pastel DG, compare it with Black Pastel Hypo. Which one you like better?
Wait, sorry.
Black Pastel DG,
Black Pastel Hypo?
Yes. Have you seen Black Pastel Hypo Clown?
Oh, yes, I have. Oh, fuck. You're 100% right.
Yes, especially if you work with that Black Pastel from Barnhart line.
Yeah.
That thing is orange, like the contrast.
I don't have any Barnhart line. I wish I did.
Yep.
It's amazing. It's fucking beautiful, man.
Yeah. Because the only issue that we have, that we see from Sunset Project is it's beautiful when they hatch. That orange is really pop, but they kind of like disappears when they get older, right? So,
yeah. The single gene sunsets, they were phenomenal when they first came out. It was Barchek, right?
Yeah.
Barchek was the one that made them.
Yeah.
And then I feel like the project kind of got derailed a little bit just by people only seeing adult straight sunsets or close to adult straight sunsets. There's lots of genes out there, guys, that looks shitty when they're older. Lots. Like, excuse me. And especially if, just like Pastel or Black Pastel or Enchi or any of these other genes, you can have a very high quality sunset.
Yeah.
And you can have a shit quality sunset.
Yes.
And unfortunately, like most recessive genes that are discovered, it's being mass produced because people want to make as many as possible because they want to sell them. And they also want to make as many holdbacks as they can to make more to sell those. So, especially this early into a project, I don't think anybody should be making, I shouldn't say any opinions, but they should not be making their final opinion on any project.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, to be honest with you, I kind of like it when people kind of like disregard like a certain project, because it makes the value come down a little bit, right? and then that's the time when I buy everything.
It's smart.
I love it.
It's funny because that's actually how projects go. They start up here and they usually dip and then they come back up and then they maintain and then they drop, right? So
yeah.
Don't projects. Let people like Chris fucking pick up what he needs and make some insane stuff.
Yeah, this is a really quick example. Again, this is what I do. So this is not something that I read from like a forum, Facebook forums or whatever, right? This is what I actually did. Okay, so chocolate like recently really hot, right?
Oh yeah.
I have a few, but I need to add more. The thing is like this. If you go to Morph Market and then you search from chocolate, the prices goes to the roof, right?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like trying to buy like really overpriced animals, chocolate stuff, I go with Raven stuff. Raven and chocolate, and they are the same thing.
Oh shit!
And Raven price is really good right now. Well,
so you look
now.
for the offshoots that have already kind of taken off on their own. Oh shit, that is.
Yep.
Man, you guys are hearing some real fucking info right now. Goddamn.
Yep. Exactly. So again, like what I said before, you have to know what you're doing. Don't get caught up with all of this mumbo jumbo stuff, right? You have to do your homework. That's why. Another thing is, let's say like another project that a white lace, right? I've been telling people like, dude, get into this project. It's pretty cool project, because in some cases, in some combos, it makes way better and then faster than if you want to go, let's say, with like a desert ghost route, right?
This guy fucked up. I passed up lace.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm eating it now.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm not saying that lace and DG are the same. I'm not saying that, just to make it clear. But you can make a combo even better than DG combos with lace.
White lace. I've seen some white lace combos that look like a desert ghost of the same combo.
Yeah.
On speed, like just.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
I can't believe that
instead of like
complete dominant can do that.
Yeah. Instead of like 6 years, you can produce the pretty combo maybe like less than 3 years. If you just wanna get the look, right? Because people often focus on the look, not the ingredient of of that particular combo itself.
Oh man, you hurt me a little bit talking about lace.
Yeah,
I was
lace
like,
combo.
That project.
Yeah, you know that I picked up lace really, really cheap. I got like 5 female white lace. Ugh. Well, we should probably call it super lace because people really confused, like, what is white lace? Well, white lace is super lace. That's it, right? I picked up like really cheap. I think it's like 400, and I got like 5 of them. Right now, I can sell them easy for like $3,000 probably, easy.
I like that you're just like, yeah, I got it. It is what it is. Yeah. No, you know what? Like, it's this podcast has been very refreshing because it honestly has, because you have a very unique outlook on a lot of these projects and just conversations that most people just reiterate the same drivel, the same crap. Oh, invest and wait and take your time. Like,
well, the thing is, like we cannot.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, well, the thing is, we cannot really blame that to other people's, right? Because most people only see from the outside, right? And then I'm lucky enough to be able to see what's going on behind the screen. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's why, like, sometimes, like, when I tell people like to do this, to do that, most of the time they don't get it because they cannot see what I see. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
What are your thoughts on confusion?
They are the same as acid and static.
You do believe it is?
Yes. Okay, so this is another thing. Let me explain. Okay, so back then, like when you import all of these new so-called gene, right?
Mm-hmm.
They give you or they ship you the animals that they found, but later down the years, they found out even, oh wow, there's money to be made in this ball python, right? So they
Yep.
get smart. So what happened was they breed it instead of like selling us the actual animals. You know what I mean? So they sell the offspring instead of the mom or the adult that they caught somewhere in Africa. So that's why you see all of these different names, even though it's the same freaking thing. Because like at the end of the day, they feel like they can make more, like more money to sell to, like more buyers instead of just like one. You know what I mean? So you're gonna see like in UK they might look, working on like a similar project that what you have here, or like in Asia or whatever like that, because they came all from the same seller or like broker.
And that
That's
makes
why.
sense. I have one confusion animal, and the only reason I have it is kind of happenstance.
Yeah.
It's a leopard pastel yellow belly confusion, 50% het pied.
That's
So
pretty cool. Yeah.
with what I got it for and just the circumstances that happened to have that animal in my collection, I wasn't going to pass it up. Unfortunately, I've seen the confusion pied since then, and I was very underwhelmed.
Yeah.
But I still think there's something to be done with it. So I still am excited, but I didn't go and invest the farm on this animal, right? So it's cool to have. The animal's unbelievable. But
yeah,
I mean, I know, or I knew the Confusion Project was probably the same as one. What were the two others that you said?
static and acid.
Static and right, okay, yes. So I have a very close friend working with acid.
Yeah.
I was actually talking to him minutes before we went live.
Yeah.
So you know what? If it is the same, I don't mind, because at the end of the day, it's
Fine.
amazing. It's very cool.
Yeah. I mean, like again, like knowing what's going on, it's better, right? Because you're not gonna have to spend, the same animals for like 3 different names. I would rather spend the money to, for something else, right? And then let's say if Confusion Project, goes to the roof, you can pick up acid for cheaper than like whatever that, really going to the hype. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's
yeah.
you said that because I went to Tinley 2019,
Mm-hmm.
and Justin had not long ago released the Pompeii,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, here we are at Tinley, and he has a Confusion Pompeii on the table, and everybody was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
But the truth is, guys like Justin, when they make something cool, like he holds that back for a while, and he works it for a little bit before he shows it, right? So, so to find out that confusion or acid or static, it's all the same. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still going to make the same really cool combos. Like it's still going to make the same amazing animals. So
yeah. And then if you want to focus on that project, don't mix it with Angie.
Don't mix it with Angie.
Yeah, I mean, I love Angie. You know me, I put Angie in anything, but don't do it with, Confusion, because it's gonna wipe up all that granite dot looking.
This is the guy that had the super Angie sunset in my fucking story this morning. So, he loves Angie. That thing was insane, man.
Yeah.
Was that a current video, or is that thing a little bit bigger?
A little bit bigger.
Is it? That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited to see how that ages. I think Super Enchi Sunset is going to look phenomenal. Like at adulthood.
Yeah. But I think I like it better just the Enchi without the super, because super Enchi kind of like reduce all the patterns. I need that busy pattern. But now I know, right?
Have a very busy pattern on their own, eh? Like it's very very unique. Now we had a question earlier, had it up, but I kind of not that one. Sorry. But Noah, same person that asked that question, asked if it made sense to get into the Dreamsicle project right now.
Yeah.
And I want to know your opinion on that.
Yeah, because Dreamsicle, well, two things. Well, two main things, because the value is really good right now. It came down a lot. I still remember seeing that Dreamsicle at Ralph Daffy's table. It was like 25,000 or something like that. But now it's like you can get the mail for like what, 2,500. The potential is huge, huge.
Yeah, I think I've seen a couple even under that, like 20, 23, 22. Like,
yeah, I know that like in this hobby, people really big into like just buy female, just buy female. It's not necessarily true, because like one opinion or like one advice doesn't necessarily gonna work for everybody. Because I do not know, or like that person that I'm giving out the advice do not know what you have in your collection, right? If you're like a female heavy, it doesn't make any sense to add another female. So you can just get the male dreamsicles and then breed it to like anything cool that what you have in your collection, and then start from there. But lavenders and then dreamsicles or whatever, it's a really good project to have.
So that same guy just said there's a female dreamsicle in he says Barrie. It's a town probably about 2 hours away for $1,200. Canadian.
Oh, male? Oh,
no,
that's
female.
Yeah.
For $1,200. So what I would say to that is probably not a female dreamsicle. It's if they're advertising an animal, it's probably a baby albino pied female, and they're probably trying to move it quick.
Yeah, well, just do your homework, right? Because people need to understand that even like Tofino or like Candino pipe looks similar like dreamsicle, but you're gonna kind of soon realize after like 300 grams or like a year, they're not the same freaking thing. So just buy from like good breeders, people that you can trust.
Absolutely, that's fantastic advice. Like you gotta go with people you trust. If it's too cheap and it seems too good to be true, it is.
But then again, like I'm not saying big breeders always right or they perfect. They make mistakes too. I make mistakes too. Like like I bought 7, 8 gene males. They turn out not proven out to be half that 8 genes or whatever combos. People make mistakes because when you create like new combos, whatever, it's really hard to tell, especially if you don't have anything to compare with to. But the thing is, dealing with good person or whatever like that, they always back up what like any animals that they sold to you. That's the key.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump into one of our set questions, and I've actually just asked the chat for a few more questions for you as well. Okay. But what are your goals in the next 3 to 5 years? Is there anything you're set on, or are you one of those guys that kind of readjust your plans year by year depending on what happens?
Well, the goal like in every year is always change, because you have to adapt with like what's going on in the market, right? But if you ask like like what's gonna happen 3-5 years for like DeadMouze, to be honest with you, I do not know, because I'm just gonna kind of like go year after year, because we do not know if the government gonna shut us down or things gonna happen, like this pandemic or whatever. And then but I'm probably just gonna keep and then kind of like adapt in terms of the market or like the combo that I'm working on, the next like a new project or whatever like that. But
that's totally fair. I feel like most guys that are sort of have their finger on the pulse and trying to keep up with what's going on, to say, hey, what are you doing in 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
In 2 years, my plans might be fucked. So I can't tell you even 3 years from now what I'm doing. If one of the genes I'm working with turns out to be shit, or if something new comes along and works amazingly with something I have throughout my collection, like it might throw a massive wrench in everything I'm doing.
Yes.
So who the fuck knows? But so there's a question on the screen right now, but actually I have to run the washroom quick. So there's another one that I want you to answer because I can't talk at all anyway, and then we'll get back to that one. So
how do you see the questions?
About Octane project.
Oh, Octane project. Okay, so Octane, for now, it's the dominant trait project, meaning that it has potentially the super version. I do not know, but it's proven out to be genetic. And then I got this import. I don't know, like a couple of years back, and then proven out to be genetic, which is pretty lucky. And then it's nothing really done so far. I have a few like a double head, triple head, or things like that, but I haven't produced any of the visual. So how do you see all of these questions? Please, you want some sticker? Oh, for stickers, I think we still have few. Just email me info@deadmouze.com, and then one of my staff gonna take care of it. And
nope.
What else?
Sorry, guys.
Sable, yeah. Oh, Sable is Sable the same like chocolate? I do not know. I had that Sable project before, but I sold the whole thing. They make similar or close enough to chocolate, but the only main thing is if you breed the offspring from the same mom, every so often you're gonna make these weird combos like kink or whatever like that. It's not the same issue that you're gonna have with like chocolate. So I cannot really say this or that because I never bred Sable to chocolate. I do not know. I think some people did, and then the so-called super looks like super chocolate, but I cannot really weigh on that subject because I'm not really working on it. So
that's very fair. You're hanging like that. Had a few drinks. Anyway, jump into the next question.
Okay.
And this is what I've been hoping. I honestly thought that we would get to this question a lot quicker. We've been going for an hour, 50 minutes. So if you feel like this has been a bit too much for you, or you want to call it a day, let me know.
That's fine. Yeah.
No, I'll keep going. This has been great. I love this.
Let's do it. Yeah.
There's a couple I want to ask you about specifically, but I'm going to let you answer this the way you want to, and then I'll touch as I go, I guess.
Okay.
What are some cool projects you're working on? And for somebody like yourself, I'm going to further this question. What are some unique projects you're working on that either a lot of people don't have or don't know about?
Okay, so I have a few. The main project is probably obviously Sunset, and then Clown Pie. Well, not for me, but like I have a lot of customer that wants that combo or that that particular project. But on top of that, things that project that I'm working on the side, or things that I haven't really showcased or whatever like that, it's probably there are a few, but mainly is I have this project that I call Enzo project, and then it's a pretty cool because my favorite color is red, so that's probably the main reason why I like Sunset. And then Enzo tend to bring this like a dark maroon color on the.
Is it safe to say that red is your main target?
Yeah. Yeah.
Continue. Sorry, I was just curious.
No, it's fine. That's really good. Yes. And then I have a few, and then I'm lucky enough that so far, like my rate is probably like 80% that like I'm able to kind of like proven out these really weird dinker whatever project that you want to call it, because like when you know been in this hobby long enough, and then you see all of these gene or whatever like that, you tend to pick up really fast, and you kind of like okay, these weird looking animals might have potentials. And then so far I'm so lucky that like, so let's say if I imported 10 animals, 8 of them proven out to be genetic. So
wow.
Yeah. I'm so lucky. So yeah,
that's crazy.
And then the other one that I'm really focused on is marshmallow. So it looks like like OD yellow belly DG maybe, but the thing is that's just the one single gene, so it's not a combo. I know a lot of people been accusing me like, oh, that's a Super Mario DG whatever like that. I don't have Mario, by the way. So yeah, and then that's pretty cool. And then I haven't really make the visual because the mom I use it to make like a sunset clan project or whatever like that. But other than that,
that's the big thing too, right? Like, especially when you have something that's kind of untouched, you have to make that decision whether you want to take the risk to put it into recessive or multiple recessive, or go out of your way to try to reproduce it right away. And it's tough. It's not an easy decision. Like you have to really sit down and think, like, do I believe in this? Do I care to see this project out? And I might end up with a bunch of fucking normals. Like, it's
well
tough.
The easy way, like, so let's say if I get like unknown project or things like that, the first thing that I do is just breed that thing to like clone pipe, that a clone pipe project, right? Because if you get like bunch of normals, at least it's double hat, so you can always sell them. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Yeah. And at the same time, if it's proven out to be genetic, it's gonna save you a lot of time instead of like trying to breed to a clown and then ready to fight or things like that.
That's why I always laugh when people are like, "Oh, you should always keep normals just to breed those weird ones too." It's like, no, man, keep high end only recessive females because they still make normal looking babies.
Yes.
Makes sense.
That's true. Yeah. And then like my goal is not always to to make a name like for myself, like, oh, I brought it this gene. It's not really my goal. My goal is just to play around with these genetics and have fun. If people like it, they can buy from. If not, then that's fine. I don't really care about the thing. So I know a lot of breeders kind of like waiting for me to prove out if that marshmallow project is the same like PG before they actually want to put money into the project. But I have no rush to prove out. I mean, people that already seen the the animals like in person, they're like, oh yeah, that's different. That's not really the same like DG. So yeah.
That's fucking awesome, man. Like, it's honestly though, it's really cool to be able to talk to somebody that has quite a few projects on the go that I want to say most people don't have their fingers in. Like, you post about it a lot, but what is your main goal for that sunset project?
For the long run, I want to make, okay, so my ideal perfect scenario, right? I want to make sunset clumpite ghost maybe with like adding maybe like ODYB, and that will be my perfect animal combo. That's it.
Hey, that's very fair. Okay, we have a question. How's the guy at Pythons?
Sure.
For both of us, what do you think of Blade / Super Blade outside of Clown?
It's a pretty cool combos, and then okay, not all blades are head clown, by the way. because back then, before we kind of like discovered these blade jeans, people selling them like, this is my, personal line of reduced clown, right? And then later
the
they
big thing
only
with
find
blade
out.
is I feel like a lot of people that have, as soon as they see a reduced clown, they're like, oh, I have blade. Like,
Yeah.
that's not how it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like, you
Yeah.
can't just say your clown is a blade clown because it looks a little reduced. Clowns
Yeah.
are highly variable. So
That's true. And
anyway, sorry, I cut you off.
no, it's fine. It's a really cool project, especially if you like that reduce, patterns or whatever like that. It's really cool. One thing though, because the way I look at things before I structure my project, right? Because I don't like one way or another way. So either like stripe and clean or like really busy patterns, like really busy patterns. And then I made a mistakes because one of the project was hidden gene Woma granite, clown, right? And then one of my clown, the female clown, actually, had a blade in the mix, which I forgot. So it ended up taking out all that granite look in that combo. So I was like, okay, so I need to take the blade. But overall, if you love that, clean look, like reduce pattern, blade is pretty cool project. So yeah,
I have my combo stranger head clown going to a blade clown. Like he hasn't paired yet. Fucking snake. But he hasn't paired up yet. But one of his first pairings is a blade clown. And I'm equal parts excited and concerned with how something like Stranger, which jumbles up pattern, will react with something like Blade that seems to tighten it up. And I feel like I'm going to hit a few clowns and I'm going to have no idea they're Stranger because of the Blade. I'm terrified. But at the same time, it would be really cool to see a reduced clown that you could tell was still Stranger. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a scary yet exciting little side thing I'm doing here. I'm just trying to play around.
Yeah, this is probably one of the main thing, right? Because if we work together, right, and then kind of like help help each other out. So let's say if you work with like a strangers and then you bring it to blade and then it came out like really weird, so you save a lot of time instead of like doing it yourself, you know what I mean? So I still see like a lot of people kind of like batch on other people's project, which is doesn't make any sense for me because I mean, for me personally, I like to see people successful because when they create a new combos, I can look at it like, okay, so I like that project or that combos. Maybe I can make it even better than what he has produced. Like okay, so like in my case, like I have 3 clutches, and then I didn't hit Sunset Clown at all,
fuck, that sucks.
and then yeah, it really hurts. But and then Matt had like one ugly egg, and then he produced it like the visual. But now I know how it looks like. So instead of me, jealous, huh?
Are you talking about the one Miguel has now?
Yeah, that's the one that Miguel has now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I know how it looks like, and then so I can make it better for the next one that I want to produce. You know what I mean? So instead of like me trying to, like bad mouthing him, like, oh, he's lucky, he just like blah blah blah. I love the fact that he make that combo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because now you know how to make it better. Like instead of sitting on it and feeling bad for yourself, all you do is go, oh, now I know what to do to make mine outstanding, right? Like if the Sunset Clown looks that good, imagine a spot nose Sunset Clown or a leopard Sunset Clown or whatever, and you can use that information and take it the way you want and improve. It's great.
It saved me a lot of time.
I don't know anything about this, but Big Boy Pythons wants to know, has Chris done anything with the yellow gene? I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, I forgot his name, Yellow Gene. Really good guy. I think Tim, I think. Tim Bailey, right? Tim Bailey, yeah.
Is that who has it?
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, I have one of the female that I got from him, and then to be honest with you, I haven't really worked on that particular project because I don't really understand it, to be honest with you. But I'm working on the other project that he has. He called it Typhoon. Really cool. It looks like a hurricane kind of stuff.
Typhoon.
So yeah,
I've never even heard of that. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, I think it. I'm gonna post it maybe Sunday or Monday, so you can see it.
Sounds
it's
good.
Pretty cool. Yeah. So that Typhoon project gonna go with my Hurricane project.
That's sick.
Yeah. So
all right, we got Noah again asking question for both of us. What are your thoughts on Wookiee? And do you mind if I answer this first?
Sure. I know you hate the name.
No, seriously though. I haven't looked too far into Wookiee, specifically because I hate Star Wars. I hate the name so much I don't want it.
Okay.
Wookiee might be the next massive thing.
No,
I don't want to touch it.
I don't think so. Yeah.
I don't want to touch it. I don't want. I pray that it's not the same as chocolate, and I will put a video for the second week in a row. I hope that it's not the same thing as chocolate, only because I really like chocolate, and I really like hating Wookiee because of its name. So please let them be separate. That's all I gotta say. I don't want to like Wookiee because of the stupid name.
Yeah.
You're like, shut up. Yep.
I cannot really say if Wookiee and chocolate are the same because I have both of the project, but I never trying to combine them together. So I cannot really tell. But based on what other breeder kind of like been telling me, and then they kind of like say if they kind of like a lilac or something like that. I do not know, but Wookiee in general, because we haven't seen a lot of like cool Wookiee combo, right? It's a cool project to have. Is it gonna be the next big thing? I don't think so. In my
I saw a bunch of Wookiee combos in Pinstripe combo.
Yeah.
I can't speak words apparently. I saw a bunch of Wookiee in Pinstripe combos.
Yeah.
And I could not see the difference, which worries me a little bit.
Yeah, because like when people ask me like what is the next big thing, right? I cannot really tell because like everybody like different things. Like for me, it might not be cool, but for you, it's probably the best thing that you ever seen before. So the point is like this, right? I mean, if you love things, let's say like if you want to focus on like that Wookiee project, right? Focus on it, despite like what other breeder, keep saying this and that, just focus on it because sometimes, like a certain gene or like a certain combos is only like one way closer to make it the big things, right? I mean, think about it, like Pompey without yellow belly, it looks ugly as hell.
You're 100% right, and this
is what I mean.
Like,
yeah.
I talked earlier.
That. Yeah.
I talked earlier about how Billy offloaded Blackhead and Spotnose.
Yeah.
Look at Blackhead and Pied right now. Look at Spotnose and Clown right now. Like it takes one combo to blow up the gene. That's all it takes, and it doesn't mean that's all it can do.
Yeah.
But it only takes one combo to make people realize the potential.
Yes. Yeah.
And
so,
what? Just because it hasn't been touched yet doesn't mean it won't be. So.
Yeah. So I'm focused on what you like, and then just like work on it, because we never know, right? And then one thing that I may add is that people that successful in this hobby, they focus on less than 3 projects, and they're really good at it. Like Aussie Audi, like Orange Drip. Like, and then like Clown, for like people like Just, things like that. So focus on what you like, and then create like cool things, So
absolutely. All right, we got Dawn at Pear Tree Pythons.
Oh,
I
done.
really
Yeah.
like the orange in the Enzo project. Has Chris figured out a way to keep the orange as they grow up?
Yeah.
Is that a secret you don't want to let go
I
yet?
have. Well, this is another thing too, right? Because when like a certain breeders release or showcase their combos, you do not know the other things that he already actually make right behind the screen. So you only see the well, not the end project, kind of like the
You see
first
the stuff they
step.
want to show you.
Exactly. That's the reason I keep telling people, don't try to catch the hype. Just focus on what you have. That's it. So Enzo, yeah, I can. And then the good thing is, because sometimes you like a certain combos, right? But you wanna fix it or you wanna make it better, but you do not want to change the overall look of the animals. And then Enzo is one of the key. So I found out last year actually. Enzo makes things. So let's say if you have, I don't know, like a pewter puzzles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Enzo seems to help, differentiate the initial gene that mix into the particular, you know, um, combo that you make. So let's say if you have, pastel, pewter, well, pewter puzzles, right? Enzo tend to like separate the genes, so you can tell like, okay, so it has pastel, and then black pastel, or like a DM cinnamon and then puzzle. You can
Mm-hmm.
see it like 3 different genes mixed together, which is pretty cool. So yeah.
All right, BHJ Reptiles. What's your favorite line of Axanthic?
I like 2 of them. I like the PPI because my basic collection build up from the particular line. And then the second one is I'm starting to add more of that MJ line of Axanthic because
MJ's solid, 100%.
yeah, I find it they tend to keep their true colors all the way to when they get 2,000 gram or plus.
I went right into the VPI, even though I'm in Canada and the MJ is a little more available to me. I went VPI because, sorry, my cat's trying to fucking pull garbage out of the
Right.
I went VPI because from what I've seen in Clown, which is the project I want my VPI in, it looks phenomenal, and it keeps its color in Clown quite well.
Yes.
From what I've seen so far. Also, MJ in Pied looks phenomenal and keeps his color in Pied very well. Yes. I haven't seen much else for MJ, Xanthic, and other recessives, right? I know VPI works with the recessive I want it to work with. So that's why I went with VPI.
Right. And then the reason that I came out with that conclusion is because, I love NG, right? So the problem that I, had before, when I mix NG to Axanthic, it tend to get like a yellowish colors because,
like
the main reason, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I don't like that because, the main focus that I want to make from that Axanthic combo is that silver black color. You know what I mean? And then in other different line of Axanthic, I need to put like fires or like lace or like disco in order to keep that color go throughout the adulthood. And then you don't need that when you work with MG line or the MPPL line. That's my reason. I'm not saying Jolly line or TSK are bad.
I find it really funny because a lot of people are like, "Oh, VPI is shit compared to TSK," and "Oh, TSK is shit compared to VPI." Like, honestly, I think each line has its own strengths and weaknesses, and it depends where you want to put them and what you want to do with them to determine which way you should go. And if the gene you want to work with them hasn't been explored, you have to do your research and see how it reacts with other things that are similar, because each Axanthic line is very similar when it hatches, but they age very differently. So you have to take your time, do your research, and go from there.
Yes.
And I don't think any one is better than the other. I think they all excel in certain combos, certain situations, and that's it. Like,
yeah,
you know what? Some people might not want the most silver and black snake ever. They may want one that browns out a little bit because it brings out something in the combo. You never know. So, yeah,
that is true. Yeah, work with what you like, because everybody like a different things,
exactly.
It's not like one way or another, or like one bet or whatever. So yeah.
What are your thoughts on yellow belly?
Yellow belly it's actually one of my top 3 gene or like morph or like project that you need to have in your project, because
we should be better friends. Every time you say something, I'm just like, yep, I agree.
Yeah, because
I'm just being a fan right now. I'm just listening to you talk.
Well, the reason being is because you can go to so many avenues with yellow belly complex.
Mm-hmm.
And then the potential is huge for yellow belly. And then the best part is it's really cheap right now. Everybody can have yellow belly.
Mm-hmm.
It's
kind of crazy though. If you look at like multi-gene combos, even still to this day, if you're looking for an OD fire pied female or an OD fire yellow belly pied female, that yellow belly adds quite a bit. But if you're looking for a het pied versus a yellow belly het pied, it's like $100 difference.
Way more than that sometimes.
Depending on the combo. But what I'm saying is, like when you come to the higher end combos, yellow belly actually impacts the price quite heavily, depending on what you're looking for. So, yellow belly isn't by any means something that's dead or underground. Like, get yellow belly into your shit, guys. Do it.
Yep.
All right. So we have exceeded 2 hours already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. We've been fucking flying. This has been amazing. We've been like 50 people for most of this night. So, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to ask for some final questions. We're going to go through some that are already there, and then I'm going to let you get on with your night so you don't waste it with me.
Let's do it.
All right. So we've already touched on this briefly, but Genomic Labs wants to know thoughts on the Monsoon project and its pattern.
It's a cool project, and then obviously a new project that comes into the hobby. It's always have a good grabs, right? And everybody wants to have it. But then again, it depends on what you want to do. Like, what is your goal? Like, what do you want to make? So for me, I like the project, and then to be honest with you, I do not know what I'm gonna do with it, because it's really heavy patterns kind of influential when it comes to combos. So it's still a new project, so there's a lot of breeders that actually kind of like working on it, and then I still need to learn how it works, and then what's the potentials, what I can do to make it better, so things like that.
There's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah. And then you don't need to spend a lot of money just to get into the project. I mean, I've been telling this for like 10 plus people. Just get the that het male. You can see the like all the class, and then all the offspring, like really
easy. You can see the hets, guys.
Yeah, easy.
Buy a het male, you can see the hets.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't, message me, message him. You can see them. I promise you can see the hets. It's night and day. It's insane.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a couple more before we finish up. Question for Chris and Chris. What's your favorite pied combo? That's a tough question for me because I actually am not the biggest fan of pied. I do like
that's true.
pied, but it's not my huge thing because I'm a pattern guy. I
Yes.
love pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? So if you have to pick one pie combos that you have to have it, or the
Is
one
it
that you
something
want
that
to
has?
make,
Is it something that's been done before? Or is it something that I can make myself?
let's do both.
Okay, so right now,
Yeah.
it would probably be some sort of Enchi yellow belly pied combo, only because it'd be high pattern and high color, which is what I want in my pieds.
Yeah.
And for, you know what? Let's just say a high pattern Enchi yellow belly pied. I love them. I think they're beautiful. Bright yellow, lots of pattern. That I'm in. Like, that's what gets me for pieds. High white, I am not a fan of. For future to be made combos, it's gotta be, just based on what I know, probably like Blackhead Mojave Enchi Yellow Belly Pie.
Yeah.
Just based on what I've seen of the Blackhead combo pied heads on some animals and the one that we have, I would love to see a very high pattern Blackhead combo pied. I think it would look outstanding.
Yeah.
That would be my answer.
Right. Okay. So for me, the one that I like, it's probably one of the one that Aussie made like a couple of years back. I think it was like super OD YB Fire something pie. So that's probably the one. Yeah. And then the one that I want to make, or the one that I want to see, is probably sunset pie Enchi yellow belly pie. Yeah.
Wait, sunset
Yeah.
Enchi pied?
No, yeah. So Enchi sunset yellow belly pie.
Yellow belly. That's what I missed.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh man, that's going to be a phenomenal animal.
Yeah. Because just like what you said, I mean, like pied is not really my main focus right now, because typically I do clown first if I like the combo, and then I do pied. That's how I do it.
I love the way that you talk about things. You're like, well, I put it into this one first, and if it's okay, then I move it over. Like,
yeah,
a lot of the people watching right now, they're nowhere near that size. They're like, oh shit, I gotta pick one avenue, and if I don't go that avenue, then I'm fucked. So, I'm not quite sure the exact point I'm trying to make, but basically, the point I'm trying to make is, like, as long as you stick it out, you will get to the point where, any gene you want to play with, any gene you want to screw around with, make combos with, you can put it into whatever you want. You just got to give it time. Like, I'm still at a point where I have to very, very much pick and choose where my males go.
Yeah.
And it sucks because.
But you have ultrasound, right?
What's that?
You have ultrasound, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's right here.
So that should make you easier. Oh yeah.
We just got it though. I'm this year is our first year with it, so I'm still figuring out the fine tuning.
Yeah. Well, as long if you see there's like a follicles, I mean, you don't need to like measure it or things like that. I don't even count like how many follicles. I usually scan it, and if I see one, it's a good growth, keep breeding her. If not, then move on.
As soon as you don't see much, you're just like, eh.
Yeah, because like if you been doing it for like a while, you get used to it. I mean, kind of like get the idea, or get like what's the measurement of the follicles, right? You get used to it. So
I mean, yeah, that's a very fair point, because I feel like a lot of people depend or are dependent on follicle size. So basically, what you're saying is, as long as you see good development in your females, you just pair them. You just keep going with them.
So what I do is okay. So let's say because I breed well, I breed all year long, right? So I don't do like like cool down, like that Thanksgiving, winter season. I don't do that kind of crap. So as long if because the female dictate whether you're gonna have a good season or not. So typically I look at the female. If the female has a good size, I mean, you can tell like if she has a good kind of like body, whatever like that. Yeah. And then I introduce the males, and then after, whether if she lock or not, and then the second, the next following month, I do the ultrasound. So I don't do the ultrasound and then I pair the female. You know what I mean?
That's fair. All right. So we're kind of just running up on our final 10 minutes here.
Sure.
I don't want to keep you forever. I would like to keep this going forever, but honestly,
yeah.
I don't want to keep you your full afternoon, evening, whatever you want to call it. And it's almost, I haven't eaten yet, and it's going on 20 after 9.
Yeah.
So we're getting some last minute questions. So let's run through all these questions. So everybody watching, drop some questions in the chat. We'll go through them until they're gone. I'll go till 4 hours. Maybe Chris won't, but I'll go 4 hours if I have to.
Okay.
But drop some questions for us. But the first one is from Everglades Exotics.
Okay.
Monsoon Pied or Monsoon Lav?
I would probably wait and see what Bill gonna produce from that Monsoon Pied project, and then you can take it from there. But Monsoon Lav will be amazing. So you're gonna see that live color, but in monsoon pattern, for sure.
So my opinion here is, and this is somebody invested quite heavily in Monsoon Pied. If you want a sure thing, go Monsoon Lav.
Yeah.
Because Monsoon Lav is gonna look fucking phenomenal. It's gonna look amazing.
Yeah, Monsoon it's kind of like that albino berm, right? That granite berm, whatever. It's gonna look like that for sure.
Yeah. So
yeah.
All right, Don again. Pear Tree Pythons.
I love that guy.
Don is one of my favorite people. I wish I had
super nice, man.
I would wear it every live. He has the coolest shirts, but he's having the same problems I am for supply. What are your top 3 genes?
That's a lot, but
it's a hard question.
Okay, so let's put it this way. If I had to pick, and then I have a gun next to my head, right? You have to pick 3, and then drop the rest of the project that I have. I would probably keep...
Imagine I'm behind you, just in a chokehold. I'm
jiu-jitsu style.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably Sunset, Clown, Pipe.
Good answers. All right. Okay. Can I tweak the question a little bit?
Sure.
You can keep all your recessives, every recessive you have, but you have to pick 3 either dominant or incomplete dominant traits to keep. What are they?
It will be Hurricane, White Lace, and probably Blackhead.
So Hurricane, Lace, and Blackhead. Fuck, those are good answers. God damn it, man.
Yeah, because you can make a lot of stupid
every
things.
Every time I ask somebody that, they take a while, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know," and you're like, "Hurricane, Lace, Blackhead."
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Seems like this is the last question.
Okay.
Do females always ovulate at 45 millimeters, or can it happen before that? A little smaller.
It depends. Okay, so let me explain it the easy way. Okay. If it is a new female, meaning it is going to be like her first time breeding, it will be safe to say that after 45 or bigger, that she's going to lay. But if it is like female they already used for like 3 seasons plus, typically it's safe to say like 35 males you're gonna have eggs for sure, because typically like in generals, because when you have a really high-end males, you don't want to overbreed that particular males, right? So typically after the female hit like 35, I don't breed her anymore. I know it's kind of like controversial, opinion, but that's what I do. So yeah, it's safe the male. Yeah.
Oh.
How do you see all of these questions?
Because I'm the host of this.
Oh, okay.
Session, it shows me the stuff that's coming up, and it gives me the option.
Okay.
So, is there anything on YouTube that Chris has going, or only on Instagram? I know the answer to this, but I want you to plug your shit. So, plug away, man. We're at near the end. So,
just for DeadMouze, right? So for DeadMouze, yeah. Well, the thing is, for like Instagram is easier. I don't have to like edit or like sit down and spend like hours just to shoot video. I know a lot of people been asking for to make this YouTube whatever like that. I haven't had the time for that, but I will hopefully soon. Because I just don't want to do it.
Looks sick. You posted
Thank you.
If you keep, I watch some of your videos. If you keep doing them, please invite me. I don't even know if I'm cool enough to be part of it.
Oh no. Yeah,
it looks so sick, dude. It looks so good.
Yeah, thank you. This is another thing too that for that podcast, I don't just invite like a big breeders or like well-known breeders. I'm invite friends, good friends, like good people in this hobby. And then we don't have to talk about like anything like like a quiz that we're gonna ask about genetic cucumbers. We just talk because I want to share people that it's not always negative, because people think kind of like this hobby a lot of like crazy people, things like that. So that podcast kind of like represent like this is what we talk about when we are like at the expo or things like that. This is what we do when we hang out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we not necessarily talk shit about other people all the time. This is what we talk. We just hang out, have beer, or things like that. That's the reason I do the podcast.
And honestly, I watched a few. I watched one that you did with good buddy of ours, Cusco.
Oh, Cusco, I love that guy. Yeah.
Oh, dude, he's. My wife tells me that if I wasn't married to her, I would try to marry him. Like,
oh my God.
I love that guy.
I don't blame her. Yeah.
He's one of my favorite people. I have multiple animals from him. He's amazing. Like he's a super cool dude. But
nice guy.
Yeah, you know what? Like, what's the point of doing these if you can't chat with people you either admire, like, or are friends with, and like if you're going to create a YouTube platform, promote the people that either you care about, really want to see succeed, which is the reason I reached out to you, because you've been killing it for fucking ever. It's just it's a wild ride, man, and you got to do what
I love
do.
Well, I'm sorry to cut you off, but before I forget, I love when you say like to help other people, because to be honest with you, I do not know how long I'm gonna be here, right? Because for me, this is just a hobby that I love to do, right? I mean, things can change, but while I'm here or while I'm involved in this hobby, if I could just help one people, right, from nothing, from like a newbie to like a big breeders, I'm happy with that, because there's so many misinformation up there. I mean, like I've seen people that watch other people, YouTube channel and then make their own and then claim like, oh, I've been doing this for 30 years. No, bro, you never done anything, because I know what you have. Because it doesn't really matter. I mean, you can fool, a lot of like new peoples, right? But when that person talk to us or things like that, it doesn't make sense. When you've been doing this for 30 years, you only have like like past a possible head type. Like what happened within 30 years? So yeah.
All right. So we're gonna start wrapping this up because I don't want to keep you all night.
Oh, it's okay.
I mean, it's all afternoon for you, but it's all night for me. So Dawn, Pear Tree Pythons, once again said, Chris gave me some solid advice at Tinley.
At Tinley, okay.
I will never forget him for it.
I forgot about the advice, but thank you.
I assume he means the same Tinley I went to, and it is killing me that I did not see you because I would have fucking lost my mind, man. Like, oh,
were you there? Remember when we had that CRBE with Bills and then we had dinner? Were you there?
Was that the 19?
Did 2019? You go? I think it's 2019. Yeah.
I was there, but I was forced at the very end table because Billy doesn't like me.
I don't remember, because I didn't see you at all.
I was at his table for most of the weekend, even though I wasn't getting paid for it.
Oh,
and then
ask for that
no. I honestly, I love Billy.
Oh yeah, he's a really
I've made
guy.
so many connections because of that guy. I make jokes, but I probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
But no, I was. I think
you were there.
I think you and I briefly met, but
you did, yeah.
Yeah, because I was at the steakhouse, right? Just down the road.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think you and I met, but at the time I didn't really. I don't think I really knew who you were. And also, I don't think we were established. I don't even know if we were a thing. So, who knows?
This is another thing too that before I forget too that when people see me at the expo, please say hi because like I get all of this email like, oh, I saw you but you didn't say anything. I'm like, I only focus on the animals, people.
Unless you walk up to me and say something.
Yeah.
I'm so distracted by the snakes.
Like, exactly. Yeah.
There's so many cool things to look at. I don't want to look at people. Like I see people everywhere. I don't see snakes.
Yeah. So so if you ever see me, say hi. So yeah, I don't bite. Well, I do, but it's a different story.
All right, Chris. One last question from the chat.
Okay.
And then we're gonna end this. What are your thoughts on Black Axanthic?
It's a awesome project, a lot of potentials, and then not many people are working on it. And then it's not the same as the regular Axanthic, by the way. And then the cool thing is I have this project that I call it the Emerald because it has like a green tint. So my plan is to breed that Emerald project to Black Hat Hypo because Black Hat Hypo has this kind of like green look to it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what I'm gonna make. So hopefully we're gonna see like a green, close to green color type of ball python. I don't want people like, oh, green ball python, it's not exist, whatever. So all right, fine. But yeah.
Oh my god, man! Like you are literally the cornerstone of so many projects and so many cool things in this hobby. So
it's fun, So
it is fun, but you know what? Like I said 5 times before now, I don't want to keep you all night. So on behalf of everybody that's in the chat right now, that's been in the chat, we thank you so much for your time, all your expertise. Thank you so much, Chris. It's been amazing. This has been so fun.
Thank you for having me, by the way. So so maybe next time you're the one that's gonna be in my podcast.
Man, if that's the case, I will feel so fucking honored.
It's just friends, and then talking about
you coming on this. This is something I didn't see happening for probably a year for me. Honestly, I've been following you for a long time, so this has been really, really cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. I'm gonna drop you off just for 1 second, just to do an outro. You'll still be on here, so give me a second. Sure. And yeah, man. Thank you again. This has been phenomenal.
Thank you for having me.
I hope we can do it again. I really,
sure.
really do.
Anytime. Well, not anytime, but just let me know.
Thanks, man. Thank you
All right,
again.
brother. Thank you so much. All right. See you guys.
All right, guys. That was amazing. We had Chris from DeadMouze. Holy fuck. I can't say anything else. I can't say anything else. That's the end. See you guys. Thanks so much for supporting. Hit that like button.